And not really sure where it all began. My family doesn't really respond well to drama. Like, take my mom, for instance. You could say that she suffers from ostrich syndrome. You know, stick your head in the sand at the first sign of trouble. Then there's my dad, tough as nails. I've never known that man to show 1 ounce of emotion. Except for that one time when the Red Sox finally won the World Series, he cried like a baby. Then there's my sister, Janice. She's the kind of person who always tries to convince everyone that everything is always going to be okay. All that nonsense. Then there's me. I'm a realist. I'm the kind of person that sits back and watches things happen, because worrying about things isn't going to change the fact that they're going to happen, right? The first thing I remember is the phone ringing. It rang forever before my mother picked it up. Almost as if she knew that it was going to be a call that she didn't want to answer. You know, you can always tell the bad ones. When there's gasps and silence. A deafening silence. Silence so loud that you have to cover your ears, because you know when the silence breaks, it's only going to be followed by some kind of horrific reality. No one ever thinks it's going to happen to them. I never did anyway. The last person who saw my sister, Nikki, was a clerk at the corner convenience store. She went down to get those Pop Rock candies, you know, the ones that explode in your mouth. She would work around the house and earn extra allowance so that she could take her trip. I mean, we lived in a small town. We never even used to lock our doors. That kind of small town. Well, her bike was found about a block away from the store. Almost like if it was left there on purpose. It was right out in the open. And her backpack was next to a dumpster. It had been emptied out. After that, the whole town joined in the search. It was almost as if we just existed here in this numb hell. Where could she be? Who was she with? Would we ever see her again? My mind couldn't stop racing. I've never known this restlessness before. I felt so helpless. There was nothing I could do. Body was found about a week later in the bayou behind the high school. It didn't make sense. We searched her about 100 times. She was so sweet. She never hurt anyone. What kind of sick maniac could have done this? Police report stated that when she was found, she was clutching a package of Pop Rocks, that stupid candy. My mom hasn't talked about her since that day. I guess she feels that if she doesn't talk about her, the grief will just go away. But grief doesn't work like that. And my dad, the one who never cried, doesn't stop now. Not a day goes by that he doesn't cry. As for my sister, Janice, she took off with a friend somewhere in California, so we don't hear from her much. So here I am, telling you everything I know, which is basically that I've lost my entire family. Nikki's dead, Janice is gone, and my parents are insane. So I'd appreciate it if you just leave me alone and let me grieve with this in my own way. Maybe one day it'll all make sense. Maybe. And if not, I'll figure it out. That's all I have to say.